I got spin the orientation, and it's super annoying. So right now I'm walking out towards this washed out, caked out area where they've actually taken soil from this beautiful area. You can see in the back, that's what it used to look like, is those trees. And they moved it over here into a dirt bike or biking area. So how I feel about that, man, I don't love it, but I guess that's just how it is whenever nature and culture meet. So I'm coming out here because I know for instance, Jackson Lake, somebody had told me, they told me at Jackson Lake that we're having some of this kind of stuff happening. And not just that, but I got photos of dead fish. I got photos of all kinds of dead stuff out there. I'm coming over here just to kind of look at it, get some photos, pictures, and I'm taking you guys with me as we explore Lybertee Park. And again, we came up something like that. So it's got some pretty steep inclines. If you're smart, you can navigate the inclines without much issue. But yeah, so whenever we get heavy rainfall, and you can see the crust in the center, but when we get heavy rainfall, this entire basin fills up, and what we're left with is this crusty white material. And like I said, I'm not a scientist, I don't know what it is, but what I do know is that the problem is that that crusty white stuff is popping up over at Jackson Lake, and at Jackson Lake it's actually killing all the wildlife. Now, not that long ago, we're moving this way, not that long ago at Jackson Lake, you could go fishing and it was considered to be fairly safe. Maybe it wasn't, no, it wasn't Jackson, it's the one north of Farmington. However, even was it Jackson Lake, I think, is the one that's, no, Watson Lake, no, Jackson Lake is the one that's definitely contaminated. Watson Lake is over towards the Kirtland area, and you look over there, that's the city, but towards the Kirtland area is I believe Watson Lake, and that lake's literally attached to a power plant for cooling. So, and I know dudes who got cancer because they worked there. So they be trying to give me a job out there, and they're like, oh, it pays great, and then they're like, oh, but it's at the AP, I may not even be called this anymore, it's the power plant out towards water flow, or in water flow. Hey, you can kind of see a little bit of a, you can't really see it on this camera, but there's a yucca plant up there. It's the state plant, shout out. It's got a lot of utilitarian practices too, so you can break that thing down, make it into fiber, make it into threads, make threads into ropes, and then you can use those to tie everything else together. But we out here chilling. We haven't even hit the main trail. I wanted to go show that off because literally, I don't know what's going on, but that's what kind of what happens whenever humans transform the land, is it has unintended consequences. In fact, you can see the gazebo on the very far left here, and that gazebo has got its front safety rail ripped off. So if somebody wanted to take a 100-foot dive, yeah, man, that's the place to do it. I wouldn't recommend it, but you know, it's definitely not safe. I told people about it. I told the new mayor, but we'll see how he does. In fact, after this, I'm gonna go see how Cynthia did on her whole 10-year, because I mean, I know the people of Bloomfield are rather unimpressed. There's a ton of stone stacking, and I've said that a lot about this park, but the problem is with stone stacking is people are going to do it, especially in easily accessible areas. We're going to cut up through this left area, and the stone stacking itself, it undoes habitats, right? So if I have a hide that's made out of rocks, and you go take those stones and you back them up, whatever was living in that hide, if it was a snake or something, no longer has that space to live in. It has to go find somewhere else to live. Man, I am thirsty. See, and that's the thing that they teach you in the military, is the cold tricks you. The cold makes you think that you're hydrated, even though you're not, because whenever you're in the cold, it feels always like, I mean, you know what it's like to be in the heat. So when you're in the heat, it just always sucks, and you always need water. But when you're in the cold, you get zapped of water real quick, and a lot of dudes get super dehydrated without even knowing it, because of the fact they think they're cold, they think they're not sweating, they think they're not really dehydrating significantly. Now I believe these junipers were coming up on here. Juniper, dead junipers, probably because the whole area I just showed has been transformed by us. And when I say us, I don't mean me, I mean humans. But these junipers, I believe, are one-seed junipers. And of all the junipers, some are used for medicinal purposes. Some are used for flavoring purposes. But these are one-seed. And you eat these suckers enough, and your liver is not going to like you very much. So they might look, in fact, those are ripe. Those are ripe for picking. And if I wanted to make my food a little junipery, it might taste good, obviously in small portions, but you don't want to be taking in lots of this stuff, because what it will do is it will wreak havoc on your liver. And of all the things that you could do to your liver and destroy it, juniper berries is kind of a weird one. So, I mean, unless you just really need that juniper fix, I guess. That's some weird stuff, though. I don't know. I ain't ever met a guy like that. Speaking of getting fixes, we always come across the number one thing in America, which is caffeine, right? And within the Mormon faith, they're not actually, I'm sorry, the Latter-day Saints faith, I want to be correct here with my terms, because I am a historian. This Mormon tea is what they call it. These nettles, if you chop them off, I guess its actual scientific name has ephedra in it, but it has no ephedra in it. The actual plant itself, you can see it's got a little string across there. Some bug probably. I know a lot of times during the winter time, we'll see the fruit flies try and survive by hanging on to these, but the Mormons have brewed up, I guess, for its flavor, because like I said, it's not ephedra and it doesn't have any kind of stimulant effects or anything like that. So we got the junipers, we've got the Mormon tea. This is, I can't remember what it is. It's some sort of grass, but it's it has a really simple name, and that's why I can't remember it. It's like annoying grass or spit grass or something like that. It might as well be. That's some I believe that's a different kind of choy out there, not the ones that pop into your arm, but I could be wrong on that one. Like I said, man, as a historian, everything's kind of unfolded to me, and as I go, I learn more and more stuff about everything. Really, I mean, look at these ones. It's still flowering. It's getting cold out at night, and we still got some flowers. Oh, we might have the Tulio camera on tonight, depending. So get those purple stems, and then the orangish yellow flowers. That's gorgeous. Absolutely amazing. And then over here is a giant juniper. This thing is probably 15 feet, 20 feet tall. So absolutely humongous for junipers. Actually, junipers get pretty large. I remember as a kid, we used to go inside them and make fortresses because of how much extra capacity there is. Once you get past the initial areas, I don't even call them leaves, but the chlorophyll areas, you can get in there and you can see how a fortress would be easy to build. What the heck? It's trying to get me to share randomly. Hold on. There we go. I got it fixed on my screen. So, again, for my conspiracy theorists out there, all you visitors, bro, so many chemtrails today, I guess, or something. So, as we walk along this trail, it's going to wrap to the left and to the right. I believe if you take it far enough to the right, you're going to get hit B Hill and Highway 64. If you go straight, it's going to take you over to Trust Land. And then if you dip left, which is usually the natural course of things for this hike, it's going to take you onto the main trail, which, again, sometimes you'll be walking by and you'll hear AR-15 fire or, 225, 336. And large caliber rounds, just almost automatic, going off, or multiple firearms also being discharged at the same time. So, let's see, what is that over there? It's interesting. I don't know, there's a piece of wood laying across. Some other stuff. It's like debris. And again, we got junipers everywhere over here. Like, so once you're past that area where humans have actually been and affected the area, it really opens up and you can see the nature. And the weird thing is if you look out across the, horizon here, you can't really see it here, but we'll show it in a second. If you look out over the horizon, it's all one height. And I think this area has been hit with so much water over so much time that we're in the Permian. I mean, like, we got these weird jasper stones. If you go out toward Aztec, the Aztec ruins, which are a national monument and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, they have what's called Greywack, and the Greywack was mined from a bluff kind of like that. And the thing is that it's only created whenever it's under a high pressure situation with sand and sandstone compressing underwater. So we know this area was completely underwater. You go over to the Bistai Badlands, we know that millions of years ago, that was a coastal area where dinosaurs roamed. So this is dinosaur land, man. And the area has been washed out so many times that the sediment hasn't been able to redeposit. It hasn't been able to build back up. So we are literally always walking with the dinosaurs, walking with the culture. And most of all, most importantly to me, is I try and walk with the tribes because they're important to me. Now, that's what I meant about the other trail. It's got a name for it. A lot of these trails have names, but some of the signs have been destroyed. This one, that is intact. But this takes you off into a different location. It's just going to wrap you back around this way, but it has a really sketchy bridge that's made out of a little bit less than tight wood. I call that North Liberty, but it says up here that it's state trust land. There you can see the trail that I think if you take it a certain direction will get you to Bee Hill. And then up here, New Mexico trust land, which again I can walk up on because I have my licenses and stuff. You know, as a historian, that's one of the good things you have, is a lot of access to things. And so you walk over and you can even see the end of Bloomfield on that side. Oh, look at all those juniper berries. It's gorgeous. Yum, yum, yum. If only. Look at that. Old school fencing back before we had iron and such. So walk this direction. Holy cow. And really, the whole area is crazy because you find things you're not going to find everywhere else. You find certain, for instance, we got brown, I'm in the light, brown jasper, shines like the day is bright. We got some quartz crystal over here, I'm blocking all of it. Red jasper, looks like maybe even petrified jasper. And it's just everywhere. There's some brown jasper, more brown jasper, red jasper, and literally it's all in one tiny location. Giant chunk of red jasper there. But the whole idea is getting out here and seeing this stuff and meeting everything and knowing the nature and understanding it all. But I really do appreciate you guys. I have one more thing for you guys for today, so I'll get to that. I want to keep making sure that I'm making progress on the vids as well, besides the lives. The lives are going to be great, but things are just going to keep improving from here. I tell you that, man. For all you know, I might end up in Asia or Europe or somewhere soon. So I appreciate all you guys. You guys are sweet. Thanks. If I can figure out technology.